Hey guys, we are gonna do a quick overview of everyone's favorite subject, the syllabus. Um, so I'm gonna start, actually I'm gonna go back to the home page because I don't think I'm there. I'm not gonna read through the whole syllabus, I'm just gonna kind of explain what's on it and kind of bounce around through some of the highlights. You also have an activity that you're gonna be doing over the next few days that asks you to, read the syllabus, take a quiz that sort of hits some highlights, and then ask some questions about it. The first thing I need to point out is that this is a hybrid class, meaning that there's what is considered like a class component, like a day-to-day, week-to-week, like work. Like we have our classes, split up as online, so weekly work. I'll post, work on Monday for that week. It's either due by Thursday or by Sunday, and I'll talk more and explain a little bit more about that. Studio work is different. Usually it's research practice or an activity that's going to take, it supports what we're working on in class, but it's going to take a little bit longer and be a little bit more complex than some of the other like day-to-day things that we're doing. And between what would be normally count as the amount of work for face-to-face class sessions plus prep plus studio, you're looking at about 10 to 12 hours of work per week for this class. You also have more information about our key concepts that we'll be working on later in the week. One of the main ways we're going to be doing all of this, all of the work this semester, is the focus is on two things. Kind of your big portfolio, which uses this Wix website that I'm using. This is your platform for building your portfolio and working on parts of your inquiry project. So the major thing is your portfolio of work from the semester. The other major thing is your inquiry project, which is what we'll be working on like from day one until the end of the semester. You'll be picking a topic, we'll turn it into a question, a line of inquiry, you'll complete an annotated bibliography to research it, and then complete a visual essay using this Wix platform. And then the final drafts of that, process pieces, selections of work from other parts of the course, your reflective work, all of that will go together on this website, and that will be your portfolio. There's three kind of major pages here that we have for the only pages we have here for the syllabus. First is the materials. I've already sent out an email about getting the access to the volume 1 and volume 2 of Recomposing from Top Hat, so you can email me if you're having questions about that. The other two things is a writer's notebook. That is something you're going to set up in your Google Drive. That's one of your activities for this week, and your Wix website, but we're going to create that in class together later in the semester. And then the other thing is, again, your studio, which I've talked a little bit about. It'll take some time to get used to kind of the feel for how studios work versus class work. So I don't expect that to like completely click like today. I'm going to talk a little bit more about your notebook. Your notebook is part of what I'm going to explain later as your course engagement grid. It kind of just tracks your day-to-day like thinking during class, a lot of your low stakes work, brainstorming, notes, writing prompts, reflections. A lot of that stuff is going to be in your writer's notebook, and I'll check that weekly to see if you're keeping up with those prompts. And then I'm going to go to the assessment and feedback. I'm going to walk through this quickly. There's a lot of information on this page about why we, do some of the grading that we do, the basis behind the portfolio class. One major thing is that the portfolio is worth 55% of your grade. Reason being is it does have all the reflective work, other selections, plus final drafts of your inquiry assignment, which is graded in that portfolio. So there's a lot that's included in this portfolio, and you have all semester to work on the work and the assignments that go into it. You do have to submit major assignments. So we do have a digital essay and the annotated bib for your project. We have a writing theory that is part of your portfolio work, and then the actual portfolio itself. Regardless of what your class average is, if you don't submit one of these, then it's automatically failing the course. These are the major components. It's not like not turning in a studio or not turning in a writing prompt. Like, these things you have to do in order to pass the class, at least turning in a draft of it. Course engagement is 35% of your grade. Course engagement, I sort of lump 3 big groups of work together in course engagement, and I grade it holistically each week. So you have your daily work, which is all of your daily activities, whether it's Padlet, discussion post, notes from lectures, writing prompts in your notebook. It's everything that was assigned kind of that week. I lump studio work into that, as well as drafting from like workshops and like rough drafts of parts of your inquiry project, things like that. It's all kind of together for me, and I grade it holistically, which means I don't mark. You'll notice on Canvas you'll turn things in, but it's not marked with an individual grade. Each week I look at your work for that week in full context of that week and adjust your course engagement grade accordingly. So I gave you some descriptions here just to kind of help out, kind of seeing what I'm looking for when I'm saying this is A course engagement work. A range work is, you know, kind of a big deal. Like you're turning everything in. You have a really strong like digital presence. Like I don't mean presence like the way you speak. I mean, I can see you. I have evidence of you being involved in class on a regular basis. You engage with peers. You ask questions. Your work is developed. You might, I leave some wiggle room to be missing like 1 or 2 things, and still be kind of in that A range. When I have opportunities to get feedback on an assignment, like I offer conferences or to submit a draft, like you're always, you know, involved in those things and always taking advantage of that. If you miss have to miss, you know, a workshop or miss something, get behind, you make it up. I do want to differentiate this 98 out of 100. If you're turning in everything, you're probably doing pretty well in the class. I do sort of set aside the grades of 98 to 100 in terms of course engagement for people that are really doing like above and beyond, aside from just what's being asked for an A. Like they are regularly participating in our coffee shop forum, asking questions or posting things from their research. Maybe they go above and beyond, like being helpful with peers and answering questions and giving extra replies. Maybe they do something like extra to seek out support, like visit my office hours regularly, seek out support from the library, the Writing Resources Center, something that's more than what everybody else that's doing that's making an A. B range, I do kind of explain a little bit about how a B works. For me, I kind of see a B as you have an A student who's hit some hiccups, like you're missing some things, but you're an A student most of the time. But again, it's being pulled down because you've hit some bumps in the road. Or you turn in all of your work, but not like you miss requirements sometimes. So you could be missing a studio activity, maybe missing even a couple of assignments, like low stakes assignments, and still be kind of in the B range. You maybe don't, make up workshops if you miss them and things like that, but you do submit your drafts for feedback occasionally, come to office hours if you need help, that kind of stuff. It kind of goes down from there. You can read through C and D if you're interested. Quizzes are 10% of your final grade. Quizzes are pretty easy. That grade kind of calculates up on its own. I did give 2 types of quizzes. Daily quizzes are like the really easy low stakes ones that are to review an assignment sheet or go over concepts that we just did, like an activity or module, things like that. They're mainly meant for practice, not assessment. So you do get 3 attempts for all of your quizzes, and then you keep the highest grade. You also get a midterm and an end of term quiz that's a little bit higher stakes. It's kind of worth more points. And those are to review like bigger chunks, like each half of the term. And they're a little bit harder to take. You still get 3 attempts, and most people are able to get the grade they want by the 2nd attempt. I do give you opportunities to revise and complete missed work. At the midterm and at the end of the term, I'll offer an opportunity to make up or complete a certain number of missed assignments to bump up your grade if you've fallen behind a little bit. And also if you miss something like a workshop or something or a conference, something that's a little bit higher stakes, you can make arrangements with me to make it up, or post in the coffee shop forum on our Canvas page to request, see if somebody else maybe missed the workshop and wants to make it up with you so you don't lose points there. In terms of bonuses, I don't offer anything to one student I wouldn't offer for another. So there's no point asking me if you can have extra credit, because you cannot, because I offer it to everybody. And I only offer two things. One is that midterm and end of term catch up, where you get to make up a couple of things at the midterm and the end of term. Quizzes, if you get over, lots of people, because you get to take each quiz 3 times, lots of people's quiz average is over 100%. If you make over 100, it's a good grade boost. If you make over 100%, I let you keep up to 2 points on your portfolio. So that means if you have 102 average on your quizzes at the end of the term, then if you make a 91 on your portfolio, you actually make a 93. You get to keep those 2 points. Exception to extra credit, because, you know, there's always kind of an exception to every rule for the most part. What I do offer is only at the midterm, if you are in danger. This is a failing. This is not for students that are like making a C or a B and they're just not happy with their grade. I'm talking about somebody that has really hit a fluke and is likely going to fail if something doesn't change. If you know you're in that boat at the midterm, you're welcome to request what I call a catch-up contract. You have to request it. I will never offer it. It's here in the syllabus. If you request it, I will create a contract letting you make up a couple of extra things, just enough to get you back in good standing. So passing grade only, to give you a fighting chance for the rest of the term. Again, that's only for people that are in danger of failing the course. It's not to let you make up enough work to bring you back up to a B, just enough to get you like ahead enough that you could pull up your grade maybe in the next, you know, half of the semester. And last is policies. I think I'm only hitting maybe 1 or 2 things. One is I am going to say please be respectful. I know if you've ever been on social media, you know that people can be way more combative, hostile, if you will, online when they wouldn't be in face to face with people. So since most of our discussions, all of our discussions are going to be on an online forum, please be respectful. There are lots of people in this class, and everybody's different and has different experiences and values, and it's a class on how to communicate with people. So please be aware when you're posting, when you're responding to people, to be respectful. The other thing that I want to cover now is late work. You get 3 days to turn in something late. So if it's due on Thursday, you can turn it in by Sunday. It's 1 point off your course engagement grade. Doesn't matter whether you turned it in Friday or Sunday, whether it was 1 day, 2 day, you have up to 3. Reason being, sometimes people will have forgotten something and they'll try really hard to get it in like at 2 a.m. after it was due. And to be honest, it's not worth doing it, and it's not worth reading like an assignment that's half done that reeks of like panic and exhaustion. I'd rather you just say, well, dang, I forgot. Like take the next day, work on it, turn in something good. It's a 1 point deduction. I do offer extensions. I do ask that if you know your work is due on Thursday, it's Wednesday or Thursday morning, you know you're not going to make it, send me an email. So on that assignment, I can put something in the notes saying that you have an extension so that there's no penalty for that. And it doesn't hurt to do that and to make that request. It's better to do that than to take the late work penalty. And that is actually all that I am going to talk about for the syllabus. I'm going to let you do the rest with the activity.